Shalom and welcome to Hebrew Bytes lesson number 22. Ivrit La'at La'at Shi'ur 22. We'll begin our lesson with a blessing again. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, by whose word, with all its letters, heaven and earth were made. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shebara et hashamayim ve'et haaretz bedvaro im kol haotiot. Amen. Well, shalom Talmidim, and welcome back to Hebrew Bytes. Today we'll be looking at the portion or parasha called Vayak'hel. Now, the word Vayak'hel is actually a good example of how the title of each portion or parasha is found in the first sentence of the reading, and now it's in fact the very first word, Vayak'hel. And this word of the title always provides a key to the focus and the meaning of the portion. So Vayak'hel is directly translated as, and he, talking about Moshe, Moses in this case, and he assembled or gathered the people. So let's have a look at the word itself. Vayak'hel. Now you'll see the vav for and with a kamatz, and the yud has a kamatz as well. That's how you get the vaya. Vaya. Now important to notice in this word is that the kuf has a shva, and of course the shva tells us that there's a stop there. So it's Vayak, and then the next two letters, hel, Vayak'hel. It's not Vayak'hel. If you can hear the difference, you stop Vayak'hel, Vayak'hel. All right, and he assembled. Now the three root letters are Kuf, Hey, Lamed, and that spells, the Kuf Hey Lamed actually spells the word Kahal. Kahal means a congregation or an assembly, and from the same three letters Kahal you get Kehila, and Kehila means a congregation, as in a synagogue or a church, a kehillah. And of course that makes sense, because if you call a kahal, you get an assembly of people together, that if it's in a religious setting or spiritual setting, that's a kehillah. Now, the calling of a general assembly or a group of people together, a population, is usually for an important reason. There's a reason for calling them together, and it's usually one that will affect all the members. That's why everybody is called together. Now, in this case, in the parasha, Moshe is relaying to the people specific commandments that God has given him as to the construction of his holy house, the Mishkan, or the tabernacle. And although the Mishkan will be a temporary dwelling while the people are traveling and journeying through the wilderness, Hamidbar, nevertheless the details are important, and a good section of the Torah, a good many chapters, are devoted to this construction or building of the Mishkan, of God's dwelling place. And we will see or as you see later in the Bible, the same details and design are applied to the temple as well. And derech agav, if you remember, that means by the way. We also find a pattern or a reflection of the pattern in synagogues and churches and cathedrals. Many of them are based on the same pattern of the Mishkan or the temple. And many of the details that we learn about the Mishkan could apply in our homes as well. And that's why a home should be a mikdash ma'at, or a small sanctuary. So these are very important details that Moshe is sharing with the people. Now, the building of and the services that will be performed in the Mishkan all require action. So as soon as Moses is finished relaying the details, the people have to spring into action. They have to collect the materials, donate the materials, start working with the materials. So there's a lot of action and doing. Now, we've already looked at the doing words, or the verbs in Hebrew, the po'alim. And if you remember, po'alim is the same word for workers in Hebrew. We've looked at po'alim. We've looked at the friendly infinitive form of the verb, to do. And we've looked at binyan pa'al. Now remember that there's 7 binyanim. And the word binyanim, what does it mean? It means buildings. So you take the root of the verb and you build upon it. You find the infinitive, and then you can build all the different forms of the verb from that same root. And there are 7. Remember, they're the 4 active and the 3 passive. And I did mention that reminds me of the menorah. And you'll see in our picture on the worksheet a lovely picture of the golden menorah that's standing here today in Jerusalem. It's been built by the Temple Institute, and it's a copy of one that can be used in the temple that was used. And it's beautiful, it's large, but that's just if you look at that picture of the menorah, you'll see it matches the binyanim of the verbs. So we started with the right-hand arm, number 1, and that was the pa'al, which is the simple form of the verb, the simple table. Well, we'll be looking at that in a moment, but just another point before we leave this beautiful menorah, that of all the furniture in the Mishkan, the menorah was the active one. It was the one that was burning, that the command was keep it burning like an eternal flame. Day and night, Aaron went and tended to the menorah, filled it, had the pure olive oil to allow it to burn. So it was the active piece of furniture also in the Mishkan. Now, today we're going to look at a form we haven't really looked at, which is the imperative form of the verb. And it's quite simple. The imperative only has 3 forms, as well as the infinitive. And we'll be looking at some examples. But just to mention a few that are used often in everyday settings in Israel, and you hear them a lot. It's usually when people are running for the bus, or you're wanting somebody to wait for you, you say, rega, rega. So that's, we'll look at that. The first one there is wait, rega. We've come across go before, lech. If you say, right, go, 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 lech, lech. And that's what God said to Abraham, lech lecha. Go, Abram, go forth to a place I will show you. So that's lech. Now you hear a lot, get down, if some naughty little boys are climbing a tree or up on a place they shouldn't be, you'll hear the parents saying, red, red, which is get down, red mi sham, Get down from there. And another one is stop or enough, which is die. Now that can be a little bit disconcerting because I've heard people, like if the child is being naughty and you hear the parent saying, die, die, it doesn't sound too good. But the parent doesn't want the child to die. It just means enough or stop. And you come across it in the portion because Moses asked the people to bring offerings or donations to him for the building of the Mishkan. And eventually, they were bringing more than was needed. And he had to say, die, die, enough. We have now collected enough, that all that we need for the Mishkan, which was wonderful. So those are just, you can copy those in your dictionaries because those are good to know. Rega, lech, red, or die, enough. Okay, what we'll do now is look at the another table of the imperative forms, and we'll look at, let's start with on the left for a change, because here it does show the infinitive, the masculine singular, feminine singular, and plural, and those are the only forms you need to know for the imperative. So you need the infinitive to work from, and if you parents telling your children to get up in the morning, or just asking people to get up, lakum. Oh, just to mention something that very often, even just the infinitive on its own is used as an imperative if there's a group of people. So if let's use the classroom situation. If a teacher walks into a classroom and wants the children all to stand up or get up, the teacher could say, lakum bevakasha, lakum. And then that would be taken as an imperative, lakum. But the other three forms are the masculine. So if you're telling your son you want him to get up, he's going to be late for school, you say, kum, kum, get up. And if it's a girl, kumi, kumi. And if it's plural, kumu. So those are the three forms, kum, kumi, or kumu. Now, on the other hand, if you want them to sit down, the teacher could say to the class, lashevet bevakasha. So, or if it's plural, shvu bevakasha. So either of those work. And the masculine singular for sit, shev. Now you can use that if you're talking to your dog and you're wanting to teach the dog to sit in Hebrew. You say shev, and that means sit. Or if it's female, shvi, and plural, shvu. Right, let's look at move. Someone's in the way and you need them to move. And you say, lazuz, lazuz bevakasha, please move. Or just to masculine singular, zuz. Female, zuzi. Plural, zuzu. So you have the same pattern through the imperatives. As long as you've got the verb from the infinitive. Right, give. Latin is give, to give. So masculine would be ten. If a parent's saying to the child, give me that, because they shouldn't be holding it, say tenli, it's there, ten. Or feminine, tni, tnili it. Of course, if you're saying, give me the glass, because they, you know, for whatever reason, give me the glass, tni, tnili it hakos, or plural, tnu. And last one, put, lasim. If you're wanting to say, put it there, please. Lasim, sham bevakasha. Masculine, sim. Sim et ha-sefer ala shulchan. Put the book on the table, sim. Or feminine, simi. And plural, simu. שימו את הספרים על השולחן. So that's just something to play with, and we'll have an exercise in the homework exercises that you can find later on. Right, let's look now at the 7 binyanim, Sheva binyanim, or the verb tables. These are just take practice, and they take just getting your ear attuned to the different forms and patterns in the 7 tables. But it's worth taking a look at just so you're aware of what these 7 binyanim, the Sheva binyanim, are. And remember the 4 active, and then are reflected on the other side of the menorah with the passive form. The only one that's separate on its own is the center one, the hit pa'el, which we'll be looking at next week. And that's in the middle. But 1 corresponds with 7, 2 corresponds with 6. Pa'al corresponds with nif'al. You can hear the al ending. Pa'al nif'al. The second one is pl, which corresponds with pu'al. But we'll need to just look at the verbs themselves so you can start hearing the difference. Right, let's look at pa'al, number 1. This is the simple form, and we'll look at the 2 words lishtof, which means to wash or to rinse, and lignov, which means to steal. All right, so lishtof. The sample sentence is Hu shataf et hakelev. So shataf is the masculine past singular form of the verb. He washed the dog. Hu shataf et hakelev, which is a good thing to do. But the second one, lignov, hu ganav et hakesef. He stole the money. Not good. All right, so let's look at the passive. So the passive form of hu shataf et hakelev, he washed the dog. Go over to 7 nif'al. So the dog is washed, or the dog was washed. Hakelev nishtaf. So shataf becomes nishtaf. And if you look at the name of the binyan, it's nif'al, which is giving you the clue. The words it begins with ni and has the a. So shataf becomes nishtaf. Hu ganav et hakesef in the pa'al. That comes over to nif'al, and ganav becomes nignav. So the money, it was stolen. Hakesef nignav. So that will be the pattern for pa'al and nif'al. The verb in the passive becomes ni'a, nishtaf, nignav. And that will apply to the pa'al verbs. Okay, let's look at pl, which is the name of the second binyan. Now the examples we look at here are the beautiful word for blessing, levarech, to bless, and lechalek, to share or to divide up. So levarech, hu mevarech et haben. He blessed the boy or his son, the son. Hu mevarech et haben, and lechalek, hu mechalek et ha'uga. Uga is a cake, so he shared the cake or divided up the cake. Hu mechalek et ha'uga. Now with the PL, do you notice that PL verbs have 3 syllables? Look at pa'al. How many syllables are in the pa'al verb? And remember, pa'al is the simple form, so there are 2 syllables. Lishtof, lignov, likro. Whenever you have 2 syllables, pa'al, and it's lishtof, lignov. Look at PL. How many syllables? Levarech, lechalek, e'a'e. Levarech, 3 syllables. So it's a little more complicated verb with 3 syllables, and it's lefarech, lechalek instead of lishtof, lignov. So your ear just starts knowing which verb is which. And if you look at the corresponding passive form of PL, which means you go over to number 6, it retains the mem. Did you see what happened with the verbs in the PL? To bless is mevarech, mechalek. It gets a mem prefix. And that in the passive it keeps the mem. So you say the boy was blessed. Haben mevurach. So mevarech becomes mevurach. The son was blessed, or the boy was blessed. And for divided, mechalek et ha'uga. The cake was divided or shared. Ha'uga mechulak. So there you hear the pattern for pu'al, u'a, mevurach, mechulak. And that just takes practice, getting to know the different forms of the verbs. Right, let's go back to the portion quickly before we do the vocabulary. In the portion, Vayak'hel, Moshe gives the Israelites the opportunity to contribute whatever possible in ways of building materials. So there's metals, precious stones, wood, fabric. But together with the materials, he needed them to contribute their time and talents as well, because all this work had to be done, which required skillful work, much of it. And of course, like I did mention earlier, how did the people respond? He was gratified. We saw how they responded willingly with generous hearts. Those are the words that are used. The people responded willingly with generous hearts, and so much so that he needs to call out, "Die! Stop! We have more than enough," which is, of course, the imperative form again. Right, let's finish looking at the vocabulary. Milim chadashot. And here we have the word I mentioned earlier, congregation, is kehila, from the root kuf he lamed, kahal or kehila. To give, latet. Latet is to give. And let's look at the forms of the verb, just for some verb practice again. Hu, he, hu noten. She gives, he notenet. They give, masculine, not nim. Feminine, not. So they listen to the pattern again. Noten, notenet, notnim, not. Right, gift. People give a gift. A matana. Matana is a present or a gift. He, she, or they open the gift. Hu poteach, he potachat, hem potchim or potchot. He, she, or they wash or rinse. We'll use the word lishtof. Hu shotef, he shotefet, hem shotfim, hen shotfot. he, she, or they steal, from lignov, hu gonev, he gonevet, hem gonvim, or gonvot. Right, and the last one, to build, livnot, hu boneh, he bona, hem bonim, hen bonot. So there you see your ear should be getting used to the rhythm, the pattern of the verbs. And as I said, it's just practice. So practice writing some in your dictionaries and read what you can. And shalom, shalom from Yerushalayim. Till next time.